Welcome everybody to a look at a new 4K release from Criterion as part of their Criterion collection, and it is 1989's Godzilla vs. Biollante. So this is directed by Kazuki Amori, who also did the follow-up to this film, as far as the Godzilla series is concerned, Godzilla vs. King Ghidorah. And yeah, as you've probably guessed, this is a kaiju film, clocks in at 104 minutes long. Not really seen much from the cast before, so I'm really kind of clutching at straws here in terms of what I've seen from the cast before. Stars Kunikiyo Mitamura, who was in Gamera 3 Revenge of Iris, which is a fantastic kaiju film, and also stars Yoshiko Tanaka, who was in Godzilla vs. Mothra, the 1992 version, which again is another really rather good kaiju film. So after the previous Godzilla attack in The Return of Godzilla, a miniature arms race ensues to collect his cells. Concerned over Godzilla's possible return, the Japanese government uses the cells to create a new bioweapon, which is ANEB, anti-nuclear energy bacteria. They seek the aid of geneticist Genshiro Shiragami, whose experiments, however, result in a new mutation. So, despite several positive aspects, I don't unfortunately enjoy this quite as much as the prior film, which primarily comes down to the pacing, not quite enough action, and a less impactful tone, which combine to make this a generally weaker effort. The tone for this is a little bit all over the place. It does have a bit of a dark opening, but then it kind of gets a little bit lighter. It has elements of like spirituality in there and such, and it just doesn't quite gel for me with the rest of the film. But that said, Biollante makes for a really rather unique adversary as far as adversaries for Godzilla go. The action there is genuinely superb, especially the two fights between Godzilla and Biollante. Especially since the second time that they fight, Biollante takes on a new form, and yeah, it's a really rather fun fight scene. The miniatures and effects overall look great, especially the look of Godzilla and Biollante. They look really rather effective. And like I said, when Biollante goes into their second form, it just generally looks superb. It's really, really well done and really convincing. The score is also excellent. It has some engrossing plot elements and it is well shot. But yeah, on the whole, just not quite as good as Return of Godzilla, which I feel with its really dark tone, but also massively impressive action scenes and such. And from coming back after several years of being away from the series, it feels like they really went all out to make it as great as it could have been. Whereas this feels a bit more like it's resting on the laurels of the prior film, especially since it pretty much opens with the same kind of tone and lighting and you know what's left of the I think it's Tokyo, what's left of the city after the prior film. So, yeah, doesn't quite work as well, but it's still a solid 4 out of 5, and that is higher than I rated this film when I originally saw it, which when I gave it 3.5 out of 5 when I first saw it. So, yeah, it's definitely gone up in my estimations, and yeah, certainly helps that now I have it on a physical release. I can revisit as many times as I want, and yeah, see if we can glean anything from it. So yeah, we also get a write up on this release, which is on one side of a poster, which again is nice to see. I do like my Godzilla posters, and yeah, so we've got a write up here called "The Real Monsters" by Jim Cironella, and then you've also got your cast and your crew down the side there. That's nice, and then you've also got a poster on the other side, which has Biollante in all of its form, and then you got Godzilla in the background. So it does make Godzilla look quite small. To be honest, the sizes in the film aren't entirely conveyed effectively. I'm pretty sure Biollante is bigger than Godzilla, but very rarely are they coming into physical contact because Biollante uses a lot of vines and such to wrap Godzilla up and pull him over and such. And Godzilla mainly just uses his atomic breath from a distance, so you don't really get a true sense of the scale between one another as far as I'm concerned. But still, the new 4K digital restoration with 5.0 surround DTS HD master audio soundtrack both looks and sounds superb. No major issues here or there, to be honest. I have heard some people saying that some scenes do look a little bit overly saturated or way too bright, but regardless, for the most part, I found this to look excellent. And yeah, we've got new audio commentary featuring film historian Sam Dane, host of the podcast Eros. And then we've got Massacre and co-editor of the book Revolution. Oh, oh, podcast Eros plus Massacre and co-editor of the book Revolution in 35mm. I didn't see the plus sign there. And then we've got making of program from 1993 featuring the director and special effects director Koichi Kawakita, among others. Then we've got a short documentary from 1993 about the Biollante and Super X2 vehicle concept. So, yeah, Super X2 is a follow-up vehicle from the previous film where I think it was Super X, um, which yeah didn't quite work out in terms of getting rid of Godzilla. And then we've got deleted special effects, TV spots and trailers, and new English subtitle translation, plus the essay that I've already shown you on the other side of the poster. So, yeah, it's great to finally have this film on physical release. Now, Criterion obviously did release a Showa series of Godzilla films from the original right through to Terror of Mechagodzilla, I think that was the last one. Um, and they were all on Blu-ray. Most of them look pretty good, although we did get only the American version of King Kong versus Godzilla, which I think was, yeah, is definitely a lesser version of that film. But still, it's nice to have this. But it's also a bit of a shame that we don't have the Return of Godzilla on 4K or Blu-ray or any kind of format, to be honest. As far as UK releases go, I'm not quite sure how or why they were able to release this effort, but they're not able to release a previous one. Maybe it's kind of like testing the water to see whether or not this film is going to sell, and then maybe they'll release a full blown box set like they did with the Showa era of the film series. But to be honest, I really would have preferred them to have started off from the beginning rather than skipping one film ahead. So, yeah, that is a little bit disappointing, but it is still great to finally have this on a physical release because, yeah, it's never been physically released as far as I know in the UK before. I had to find it online somewhere to find it, and it wasn't the best quality, so I didn't really get all that much from it in terms of the special effects and such. But yeah, this 4K release really does make it look that much better while also being that much bit more enjoyable as well, especially when it comes to the sound, to the action scenes. So yeah, if you have seen this film before, then yeah, I'd like to hear your thoughts on it. But if you haven't and you are into the kaiju genre of films, then yeah, highly recommend it, to be honest, because even though it's not my favorite of the Godzilla films, I can see why some people do really rather quite like it. Nonetheless, so thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.